get turned up to death!
Good day everyone, welcome back to Long Range on a Budget Part 2. So my original plans for the series has changed a bit. I'm going to break the series up into different parts, spread the entire series out over a little bit longer period, just because of the reason I'm still waiting for some parts to come in. So first off, episode 2, I finally got the scope in that I was planning to buy. That's why I'm just going to show you guys the scope now. Going to give you my first impressions on the scope. Haven't taken out tuning yet, but I'll just give you guys my first impressions and give an overview on the scope I decided to go for, as well as rings and stuff like that. So let's get into it, guys. So the scope was one of my difficult decisions to make, honestly. When you're searching for a budget long range scope, it's honestly quite difficult. My options I looked at pretty much was, first off, a Vortex Viper PA 6.5 to 20 power. Really nice scope. My only problem with it was the reticle. It had an molded reticle, but MO8 turrets, which there's no possible way. And it also had a BDC reticle, which is not going to work for me. And then it also had a just a plain duplex reticle, which also didn't work for me. So that option was out. Then in that $500 area, in South Africa, we can't get SWFA scope, so that option wasn't for me. And I really only had one option I felt comfortable with going with. So you guys can probably already see the make here, but the scope, rifle is safe, don't worry guys, I already checked everything beforehand. But the scope I decided on going with is the Citron S-Stack 4 to 20 by 50. Now, I'll give you guys a quick overview of the scope and I'll give you my first impression. Okay, so first impressions for the scope when I took it out of the box. The first thing that really struck me is this is my first Citron I've ever owned. It's actually the first Citron I've ever seen in real life, so I was quite hesitant on ordering it at first place because I'd never seen the scope anywhere before, so I honestly had just gone on reviews I read on the internet and so on. But my first impressions, I am seriously impressed, guys. The build quality is really fantastic. It's a lot better than the Barrett that was on here. To tell you guys the truth, I think it's a little bit better than my 6-hour Whiskey 5. And it's the build, as far as build quality goes, it's right up there. Just the entire feel of everything is right up there with my Zeiss Conquest. So for a scope at this price range, it is honestly a really, really good deal. Then the things that make it perfect for a budget long range scope. Okay, first off, let's start with the turrets. Now these turrets are capped, but these are capped target turrets. So I know a lot of people don't run even the caps on this and just use it as a scope of target turrets. Now that's the first thing that made me purchase this scope above any other scope. Citron has what they call the exact track system. Now the exact track system is a system that is noted throughout, especially in the S3 line of scopes, but it's specifically noted for amazing tracking. And guys, just to tell you the truth, right off the bat, just the feeling and the audibility of these clicks immediately impressed me, honestly, guys. I'm going to run a box test on it. As soon as the entire rifle build is done, I'm going to start shooting on it. But yeah, my first impressions of the turrets are really, really good. The only thing I didn't like about the turrets is, I'll add a close-up video, but on the windage turrets, there is a little bit of play in the turret that I cannot get rid of. I've tried everything, honestly. I've contacted Citron, they haven't gotten back to me, so I will hopefully be able to sort that out when they get back to me. But there's around, the planar turret is just enough for around 1 click, so I never know exactly what click I'm on. It's always a guess, like 1 click up or 1 click down, so but that's not the end of the world. I'm honestly I'm gonna run the cap on my windage turret and use the reticle for my windage, because the reticle is a extremely nice reticle. Okay, so this photo you guys see right here, that's a picture of the MOA2 reticle that is in the scope. This reticle is extremely fine. I'm kind of scared, honestly, of it, because I know when I'm going to do long range shooting, this reticle is going to be perfect. But this is also a gun I'm going to be using for a little bit of hunting and stuff like that. I'm really scared I'm going to lose that reticle in bushes and stuff, but we'll see how that goes, honestly. The reticle is calibrated on 20 power. So on 20 power, each and every line is exactly 2 minutes of angle apart, which I would have preferred 1 minute of angle apart, but yeah, it's 2 minutes of angle apart. So I'm not really going to shoot for reticle that much when it comes to elevation. I'm mostly going to dial and then use my reticle for windage, so that's not the end of the world. Then as we move from the back to the front of the scope, I'm going to show you guys some features. Okay, start off the back, fast focus eyepiece. Once again, would have preferred a locking eyepiece, but at this price range, honestly, I cannot complain. It's fine. I may literally just turn it all the way in and leave it there, so okay, that's fine. Then as you move up to magnification, this is a 4:20 magnification, which is a 5x zoom, which is honestly really good for this price range, so I'm quite happy with that. It has a little lever built in, so when your hands are wet or full of blood or whatever, so your hand joints slip or you're wearing gloves or something like that. Not gonna lie, the lever is quite sharp. I have cut myself on it once, so I'm maybe gonna take a file to that and just round off the edges just a little bit. But yeah, not the end of the world there. The magnification really isn't that stiff, but it's perfect. Not too stiff, but not too loose where it's gonna move. So I really like that. I had a lot of people complain about the little lever getting in the way of your bolt. When the lever is down, it's not a lot of clearance, but it's enough clearance, so the bolt still works completely fine. And then when the lever is out, my bolt still misses it, so not a problem there. And anyway, guys, the lever is only really going to be a problem when you're shooting on 4 magnification, and I'm not going to be shooting at 4 times magnification pretty much anywhere, so as soon as you turn it up to like 5 or 6 magnification, lever is completely out of the way. So as you guys can see, here's 8 magnification, 8 times magnification, and the lever is on top, so not a problem there. And then 20 magnification, the lever is all the way on my non-dominant side, so that's completely fine. Then the turrets, they advertise the scope as having, I'll have to check it out, I think it's 80 minutes of angle. I've actually counted it, I get a little bit more than 80 minutes of angle. From the center upwards, I got around 45, so it's actually 90 minutes of angle total elevation I've got, which is really impressive for this 30mm tube. Really happy with that. That's why I decided that I'm not going to run a 20 minute of angle base. I'm just going to leave it just rings to the receiver, and that is going to get me out to over a kilometer, so that's completely fine for me. Then another feature I like on the other side of the scope is side focus. Now, I have owned a couple of scopes that didn't have side focus, and all of my scopes that I own currently have side focus, and that's a major deal to me. I really don't want another scope with a first off without a parallax adjustment, because that is absolutely horrible. Yeah, some guys are fine with it, and a lot of Loophole VX3s, for example, really good scopes. A lot of them don't have a parallax adjustment. Some guys are fine with that. I honestly hate it. And the same with my burrows that was on here. The objective focus at the front doesn't work for me. So really happy I got side focus on a budget scope. The parallax adjustment is quite stiff, but does have nice sharp knurling. Not sharp enough to really hurt you, but just enough to grip onto it so you can turn it. It is not marked in any way. It only has a couple of lines on the parallax, so there's not really, like other scopes that just indicate at least, 25, 50, 100, 200, 300 yards. So that's something I do not like, but not the end of the world. Then the rings that I'm running currently is a set of Loophole Rings. These are medium height rings. As you guys can see, it literally just barely clears the barrel, which is perfect for me. Okay, so you want to be able to get that scope as low as possible. Then let's get into the nitty-gritty things now. Okay, first off, glass quality. Now, as far as glass quality goes, it's not great. It's not gonna lie to you guys. It is not my 6-hour Whiskey 5. It is not a Loophole VX3. It is not a Zeiss Conquest. So I didn't expect V-based glass quality, but as far as the glass quality goes, it really impressed me for the price range. I shot a lot of other scopes in the same price range, and this is by far V-based glass I've seen in this price range. So, and anyway, you shouldn't go out and expecting V-based top tier glass at a optic at around $500. So for the price, it's really good. And as far as I've owned it, I've played around with it a little bit and everything, and the glass has never hindered me. There's never been one time I've looked through the scope and everything, I said to myself, I wish I had better glass. Yeah, if I could put my Zeiss next to it and my Citron, yeah, I can see the Zeiss is better glass quality, but it's not something that that's gonna hinder me in any way when I'm out in the field. So glass quality is honestly fine. Anyway, most of the time I'm not even going to be shooting on 20 magnification. I'm probably going to do most of my shooting at around 12, 14, 16 magnification, which is more than, the glass quality is more than adequate for that purpose. So overall size and weight of the scope. The scope is quite a bit larger than I expected, honestly, but for its size it's actually not that heavy. I'll put in all the specs and stuff here, but so yeah, for the size it's actually not heavy. It's in any way not a scope that you're going to be put on a lightweight hunting rifle. The scope is meant for long range shooting. It is what it was designed for. It's not a rifle that you're going to be carrying around all day hunting. And anyway, by the time this rifle is finished, it's going to have a big heavy stock on it. It's going to have a silencer on it. There is going to be parts that's going to make it heavy. So anyway, the scope is the least of my worries. Then my only complaint about the scope is the finish on it. The finish is a matte black finish. Don't get me wrong, I really like the color of everything, and the fact that the matte color doesn't leave any finger marks or anything. I really like that. It doesn't scratch easily. I've bumped it a couple of times on places and stuff, and it doesn't have a single mark on it. But what it does do is it marks extremely easily, but it's extremely superficial. So, for example, if I would bump it somewhere, it would have a big mark on it, but as soon as I rub my finger over it, it would be gone. And that's my only complaint, honestly, of a scope that marks so easily. So, it's just honestly a pain in the ass. Every time you just bump the scope somewhere, you see exactly where you bumped it. So, I'll see how the finish holds up over time and stuff. So, at the moment, it's fine. That's just my only complaint. So to tell you guys the truth, I'm extremely pleased with it yet, thus far. I really think I made my best decision I possibly could have, because I was deciding between this and a Rudolph T1 scope, a Rudolph South African company, and the Rudolph T1 was around 40% more expensive, and after purchasing the scope, I would never look back and said, I wish I purchased the other scope. I'm really happy with it, and I would honestly recommend this for a budget long range scope if any of you guys are out there looking for it. But yeah guys, thanks for watching the video and everything. Next episode we will hopefully have the suppressor fitted then, and hopefully have a stock by then. At the end of this month, Huntex is coming up. Huntex is a massive hunting show here in South Africa, and I'm going to be purchasing a lot of stuff there. So after that, look forward to another episode coming out. Guys, if you want to follow the series, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Please leave a comment, guys. I really appreciate it. Have a nice day, guys.